It's Sunday here on a cloudy day in Olympia, Washington. I'm Abel Zyl. I'm at the Zyl Vardos workshop, and I'm here live to answer your questions about building tiny houses. You can chat me right on your YouTube page, and I will try to answer all your questions. So, while
let's suppose that you're writing a really
I'm waiting for you guys to send me something, I guess I'll have a small moment to show you what my favorite tools are. I don't really carry a tool belt as a carpenter. I think part of it's because I do a wider variety of things than just, say, framing or carpentry, but this is my pouch, and it has some of my Here is, sorry, I'm just checking to make sure that I'm getting through to you all. If I'm not, let me know. Oh, hold on, I see. Hey, there we go. Okay, I'll finish this real quick. Again, I'm going to pan down. Okay, so here is my tool pouch. These are my favorites. Flat carpenter's pencils. I don't know if you can see this. I sharpen them like a knife blade. I'll run through this quick. Sharpie pens. These are useful for anything you can imagine that you need to label as you're working. I'm always on the fence about utility knives. Here's a folding one that I really enjoy. Sorry that my hands are jittery because it's cold out here. It's about 42 degrees. But this is a folding extendable one made by Husky, of all things. I didn't used to regard Husky as a high-quality tool company, but they've been making some really fine utility knives. Here's an automatic center punch. You, let me see if I can show you how this works. You press it down on what you're trying to punch, and it makes this amazing clicking noise. I wasn't a believer until one of my carpenters introduced me to that, and I was instantly a convert. My house, I'll carry a small scribe. It's just gosh, they do more than larger wrenches. And I use it for everything around the shop because I'm always maintaining my tools. Even better than that is the Knipex, or Knipex. These are German pliers, and they slide by, let's see if I can hold you still, by pressing this button on the handle. These are so capable that I can actually do plumbing with these, and that is saying a bit. Plumbing usually requires a lot of specialized tools. Next is Klein channel locks. These are the offset high leverage version. Again, they're expensive. You might not have a use for them, but being an electrician, I couldn't live without these things. You can cut anything with them, including large framing nails. Last of all, I carry, again, this might be because I'm an electrician, a Weha insulated screwdriver with interchangeable bits. And it holds a bunch of bits in the top of the head, and it doesn't come apart during use like other interchangeable bit screwdrivers do. So again, just totally golden, and I use it every day. Okay, I've wasted enough time. Let's see. I'm going to get to your questions. What does the anatomy of one of your tiny homes looks like? This is written by Daniel Weddle. Okay, you're asking like wall anatomy. I use slightly different formulas depending on the use of the tiny house and what it's what environment it's going to be in. So a colder weather house will possibly have thicker walls and different accoutrements. But usually the basic rundown is siding, a moisture dissipative barrier. This is not a vapor barrier. It's not meant to keep water out of the sheathing. So I'm going from the outside in. So siding, which I often use cedar. A moisture dissipative barrier. Traditionally, this is felt or tar paper. That performs a very important function in any small amount of water that gets blown behind siding, which isn't impossible to prevent. I live in a really wet winter area, and so you kind of have to build things that deal with the occasional drenching. So it's not possible to prevent any water from ever getting into your siding, but the dissipative barrier will keep your wood from, it'll allow the moisture to dissipate and keep your wood from rotting. Next is sheathing. I use various thicknesses depending on the wall strength that I'm trying to create. I use a bonded skin technique, so I tend to use a thinner sheathing, like a 3/8. Then framing, which is the kind of space or the structural part of the wall. Again, I commonly use 2x4 lumber, but I use 1x4 lumber occasionally, depending on what I'm trying to achieve. And then the interior, and then vapor barrier goes on the inside of the wall. I'm leaving out insulation; it goes in between the framing, but vapor barrier, and then interior wall material, whatever that is. And that's pretty common. That's pretty common in the building industry. There are other materials that go in there, and some people use this rain screen concept. And I've done it before occasionally, but it increases complexity. And if you build your siding and weathering right, you sometimes don't need a rain screen system. There's Pardon me if I pronounce that wrong. Hi Abel, good to see you. Love your work. I was watching a live stream. You mentioned you use encased fiberglass bat for insulation. Can you talk about why you use that? All that is it's I don't think I have any handy. Maybe I do. Okay, actually we're going at a really low. So I'm going to get closer to my modem, so hopefully you guys can get a signal. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shut off this. Pardon me, I'm trying to get you a clear picture, folks. Checking to see. Beautiful. All right, well that helped right there, actually. So, So we're walking to the tiny house that's over here. There's some of the insulation. Okay, I'm going all the way up on top. Looks like I'm maintaining somewhat of a signal. I'm just learning how to watch my signal so that I can get you guys a clear picture. These are my catwalks. I've built these around all my tiny house shelters, and they really make working up on a tiny house a lot safer and easier. Okay, hold on. I have this. Here is encased fiberglass insulation. It's in a plastic bag. It's called a Comfort Therm. It's a Johnson Mansell product. The fiberglass is inside of the bag, just like any other fiberglass. This is a really stable material. It's very safe. They don't use formaldehyde binders in this stuff anymore. It's here's the tiny house I'm building. This is a little bird. You can look in it. Back to the insulation question. It's they don't use formaldehyde binders in the insulation anymore, so I consider it a really safe, stable material to use to insulate a house. This is a great viewpoint, actually. There's our roof structure. We do curved roofs here at the shop. Hello from Dave Ponte. All he said is hello. Well, hello, Dave. Claudia writes again. I wonder why you choose that insulation over other insulation forms, wool, spray foam, etc. That is a great question, actually. Let me shift you guys around here. Pardon the aim. There we are. Okay, I see I'm back on. I'm getting a funky signal. So if you guys can hear me, I'll repeat the insulation question. I'm still getting a really low signal here. So I've been working these out. We kind of know why that happens. It has to do with my internet rate out here in the country, and also my Wi-Fi system has competing objects, and I haven't been able to shut them all down. So apologies for the pixely pictures and possible dropouts. I'm working on it. Carpenter, not a network technician. Looks like I'm back up. So insulation, I'll repeat that question. I wonder why you choose that, referring to the encased fiberglass, over other insulation forms, e.g. wool or spray foam. Fiberglass is really stable. It's very affordable. It's very safe to be around. And those are pretty compelling reasons. It also it doesn't tend to settle in tiny house walls. I've used wool, and loose fill wool can have settling problems, so it can create a lot of additional steps in the insulating process to prevent settling. And wool's quite a bit more expensive. It's maybe like 15 times more expensive than, no, let's say 10 times more expensive than fiberglass. Spray foam is likewise 10 times or more expensive. Spray foam, I have mixed feelings about. They claim, spray foam makers and installers claim that it's far superior to other insulations. In practice, I haven't found that to be true. I feel there are other insulations that perform slightly better insulative-wise, and for some other reasons, spray foam doesn't work as well. It is hard to work with after the fact, after you put it in, so it can create additional work, quite a bit of additional work when you're doing your project. And spray foam, unless it's mixed really carefully, which does not always happen, it off-gases various chemical compounds. And I've heard of many cases of people reacting to this, and I've personally known somebody who actually had to move out of their house for approximately a year. I know it sounds a little extreme, but it's really good silicones that I recommend for that sort of thing. OSI is kind of commonly available. There's some OSI silicones that you can use for that, or for repairing. You know, if a window, if you've removed the glass and are rebedding it, you can use the OSI. I can get the HM270 if you're working with only wood. But I guess one thing to think about is if you're not sure about the caulk you're putting on the window and what materials it's touching, use a neutral cure caulk because this I'm referring to silicone specifically. Silicone that's not a neutral cure formula produces a little bit of acetic acid when it cures, which is basically vinegar. So the vinegar cure, we call it, the conventional silicone, is wonderful stuff, but you're not supposed to use it with metal or concrete and a couple other things. So the drawback of neutral cure is that it produces a little bit of MEKP. It's a form of methylethyl ketone. It's not a lot, but it's know that can be a little irritating. Again, you'll probably, you could walk through the paint section of a hardware store and probably get exposed to more stuff than you would by using caulk once or twice of that sort. So in and of itself, you can't go too wrong, but if you crowd the glass and you have a lot of heat, like a hot summer, it can crack. So know that the window needs a little tiny bit of leeway. Not much. Glass doesn't expand much, but it does. And if you look at professional window, oops, my rate's falling again. Hold on, guys. I'm going to try to get you a better signal. Okay, I've just barely got enough signal. Again, it just dropped, and I may have dropped out there, so sorry about that. If you missed something, let me know where I left off. Again, it's a little complicated, but I have a path to ironing out my live streaming problems. Basically, it's that I live out in the country and our internet isn't very capable, so a small bump in other things in the area can pinch my broadcast. So it looks like we're back up though. Let's see. We've been on for 17 minutes. I want to show you guys some of the structural connectors that I use for tiny house building. I'm going to show you what they are right here. The main connectors that I use, there's other ways that my structures get connected to the trailer frames, but when we're connecting to a trailer frame, you don't want the house to be able to point load or break free at a certain spot, so you have to use appropriate anchors and the bolts to use with them. So here's a lightweight tie down. We can use a bunch of these. They're not rated for a lot of load, but if you use enough of them, they work. And then where, say, a rafter's attached to the ridge pole, I tend to use these rated angles. And again, you can't use just any wood screw. You're supposed to use a rated fastener. I think they're called I don't know why the type of screws escaping my mind, but there's a rated screw for hanger brackets. Alternately, you can use what are known as Tico nails. If you go to any building supply and ask for Tico nails, they will know exactly what those are and give those to you. So let's run out and see some of those connectors in use in the tiny house. There's all kinds of different tie downs, and they have different load ratings. So if you're not sure, ask somebody who has experience building. But let's see here. Oops. There we go. Okay. Here is an example of a tie down. It's attached to the framing material. Turn around. It's using a rated construction leg. These are special. I think these are German construction legs, and this is a galvanized bolt that goes all the way down through the steel of the trailer. And these are these are rated screws as well. So, so that's one type, and then this particular kind of structure has a lot of natural cohesiveness. So I don't have a lot of I don't have a ridge pole basically. Let's see if I can look at the ceiling. See, ridge pole in a normal gable roof is the thing that runs right down the middle. And kind of ties the two halves of the roof together, but when you make an arched roof, you could have one of those, but you don't need to. So I bridge the entire structure with single rafters that we cut here based on patterns. You see that I have tied the valley rafters. A valley rafter refers to this diagonal rafter in a structure. I've tied the valley rafters to the rafters that the partial rafters with a rated plate and fasteners, and then at their other end we tie them with a what's known as like a hurricane type tie down to the top plate of the wall. This wall, again, you'll see only a single top plate. I know a lot of framing has double top plates, but this wall has, again, it's our own engineering. We have the blocking is continuous and there's an outer set, so we actually have 3 2x4s that are creating the upper structure that are all is a 2x8 that bridges the entire door opening. This is to create strength for a large French door opening, because tiny houses are subject to a lot of loads when they're going down the road. Okay, I see my rate dropped again. Anybody else have any questions out there? Turn around. Hey there. Rate's coming back up. I guess I can show you the farm that I live on. Let's see if I can see the tiny house I just completed. Oh, I'm dropped out. Sorry, guys. Okay, I'm just kind of waiting. If you house, shoot, just dropped out. Okay, sorry guys, just dropped off again. Okay, we're back on. Hi there. Hey, sorry for the dropouts. I was trying to get you guys to see the tiny house I just completed, but you have to wait for the pictures. I'm working on people ask me for video tours all the time, which is really difficult for me because I'm a carpenter and not really a videographer. Although I do like to take pictures every so often. But I have a pinafore that I just completed. It's sitting out in the field near my shop, and I will be sending it off to its destination in probably next week, but I will film some footage of it for you guys to see before I send it off. Also, while I'm on that note, I just completed editing a video tour of my own tiny house, which is known as the Zyl. So I'll try to get that up later today. So check out my YouTube channel for that. So it'll be right here at youtube.com/Zyl Vardos. Anyway, I think I will wrap it up, you guys, and I'll do this again next week. So please, get your questions together and come visit me in the shop here. And I've got some other stuff cooked up for next week. I might actually demonstrate some things while I'm online. So I might build some things. Anyway, I will see you guys soon. My name, again, is Abel Zyl. I'm the founder of Zyl Vardos, and I'm talking to you guys from Olympia, Washington, USA. in the foggy, misty Pacific Northwest. Come visit me again. Come tune in next week right here at the YouTube channel and subscribe if you want to see notifications about the video tours that go up. All right, thanks folks, and we'll see you soon. Take care.